We are joined now by Jeremy Siegel here. As the market opens, the professor from Wharton steps in to help us figure some of these things out from his campus in Philadelphia. Professor, thanks for joining us. Let me ask first, not a lot of people remember or know that the Bush administration actually wanted you to join the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. You declined. And yes. But today we're seeing central bank action at its best, actually credibility at its worst for the Swiss National Bank. What do you make of this move?
Well, I'm not surprised at all by this move, and the reason is because of the sinking euro. The euro has gone down from about 140 to, we know, around 115. It might go down even more. And basically, the Swiss Central says, I'm not going to tie my ship to a sinking boat. Really what they're doing is revaluing it. I really don't think this has terrible international consequences. I think it's almost entirely due to the euro sinking. If the euro had stayed around 130, you would not see this Swiss bank action.
Professor, was this also an anticipation of more action, a move by Mario Draghi on the 22nd coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the market is discounting a healthy round of QE by the European Central Bank. Draghi's kind of smiling at the fall of the exchange rate. I've called for the fall of the euro for a long time. I was always puzzled how it stood up there at 135.40 for so long with a sinking economy. But finally, we are getting that move. I think that move in the euro downward is going to produce a better 2015 for the European economy than many people project right now. And I think Draghi wants to bring it down to 110. We've heard talk of parity. Certainly that's possible. I don't think maybe he wants it to go quite down that far, but that's the reason for the central bank move in Switzerland, anticipation of Draghi and the 20% decline that we've already seen in the euro.
Professor, the Swiss have always culturally held themselves to be distinct from Europe, this island in the center of the European Union that has nothing to do with the economies around it. But they're not as distinct as they wish they were, right?
No, clearly they're not. Now, the Swiss currency has been, I would say, maybe the strongest in the world. Certainly now that Japan, under Abe's depreciation policy, has fallen back. Swiss Central Bank, Swiss monetary policy has been the soundest, lowest inflation, and they've maintained their economy despite the fact that the rest of Europe is going down. So they're saying, listen, I don't want to sink with Europe. I rather, and they're not really, even in terms of the U.S. dollar, I checked the exchange rate, they're not as high as they were, let's say, 6 months ago. So they're only brought themselves partly back to the dollar. They probably want to bring themselves a little bit further, but they're saying, hey, with the sinking euro, I can't tie my boat to a sinking ship. So, again, I'm not surprised. I don't think that this is really going to cause any serious repercussions in the world currency markets. I think it is entirely due again to the sinking euro that we've seen over the last 6 months, that it looks like it's going to sink more under further policy by the European Central Bank.
Well, and I have to ask what you think the reasons are behind the sinking euro beyond central bank policy. I mean, they have real problems with the economy, real problems with demand there. Does that affect us? Does that continue there, and does that affect us? I guess it's a two-part question.
Yeah, I mean, why was it staying so high for so long? And the reason is actually because Europe, despite its problems, and in particular Germany at the center, was still running a healthy trade surplus. So currency traders did not really want to put a lot of bets on depreciating currency, when you have a trade surplus. But given how low the economy has gone, given the anticipation of quantitative easing, further easing by Draghi and the central bank, bank, finally currency traders have said, hey, yeah, they want to talk down the euro, and I'm not going to resist this. So despite the trade surplus, they are moving down. By the way, the trade surplus in Europe, it'll probably get stronger. I think a weaker currency is really going to help Greece, Spain, Portugal, the peripheral countries. It might be one of the cheapest vacations around now to go to the Greek Isles if the euro goes down to parity. Hey, that could be one of the best things happening for the Greek economy. Same true in Spain and Portugal, which really rely a lot on tourism, but also on exports of to some extent, and olive oil and other things that they're doing. So this is good for Europe, the sinking economy, not sinking euro. It will help the European economy. That ultimately is going to be good for the world economy and the U.S. economy.
All right, Professor Siegel, Brendan and I will bring you a bottle of olive oil back from our cruise to Mykonos.